Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, US Tzu Chi Headquarters receives Member of the Year Award from the National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. In China, we visit the Guangming villages in Sichuan to see how their lives are changing for the better after Tzu Chi's rebuilding work. And we meet a group of nurses from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's pediatrics ward to see how they find satisfaction in their ever more challenging job. First up in today's program, Tzu Chi US Headquarters has received Members of the Year Award from the National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster, which is an award given to the year's best volunteer organization in the nation. The award marked yet another important milestone in the history of Tzu Chi in the United States.
Dharma Master Chen founded the Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation in 1966 in Taiwan.
As Master Zhen's image appears on TV screens on either side of the stage, the Master of Ceremonies describes how Tzu Chi began in Taiwan.
Tzu Chi means compassion and relief in Chinese Mandarin.
Of National VOAD's 109 member organizations, Tzu Chi is the only Buddhist group, and the award nomination was recommended by the U.S. government's Federal Emergency Management Agency. In accepting the Member of the Year award, Tzu Chi's U.S. Headquarters Deputy CEO thanked Master Chen for her leadership.
We use the new technology. She's been with us. She tells us every single moment, try to satisfy, work with the community. Community needs is the number one.
When Hurricane Sandy struck the east coast of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to the scene to provide aid and comfort to disaster victims, leaving a lasting impression with local governments. Tzu Chi not only sees to survivors' immediate needs, but also offers continuing support in the wake of disaster. Participants at the meeting all agreed that Tzu Chi richly deserved the honor it received.
So many partners, you provide the opportunity for us to learn.
Tzu Chi volunteers are sometimes referred to as angels in blue, an indication that Tzu Chi has already made its mark in the United States.
In China's Guangdong province, Tzu Chi volunteers in both Guangzhou and Shantou held blessing ceremonies where members of the public were invited to attend. Apart from introducing Tzu Chi to their audience, volunteers also encouraged children to express their love to their parents. Here in Guangzhou City, Guangdong province, volunteers are putting on a short skit to pass on the message of filial piety. I was in tears after watching the story of the mute and his daughter. It was really moving. It showed how, in times of challenges, the different sides of human beings are brought out, and we were all inspired by that. Some 2,800 members of the public arrived to attend the blessing ceremony held by Guangzhou Tzu Chi volunteers to learn about the organization's humanitarian spirit.
When we fill up the coin bank, we will bring it back and open it.
Meanwhile, in Shantou, those taking part in the blessing ceremony are seizing the opportunity to repent for their past behavior and express their love for their parents.
I used to complain about my mom's cooking or just throw a tantrum because I couldn't control myself, and I would just say anything. Later, I began to repent for my behavior. Though I didn't mean any harm, the things that I said really hurt my mom's feelings, and I regret doing that.
Be filial to those around you and those in this big family. Study hard so that you will become successful later and then contribute to our society. That will be my greatest happiness. The best way to repay our parents' love is perhaps as simple as fulfilling our filial duties and making contributions to society. Moving to Fujian province, as May is also known as the month of gratitude, Tzu Chi volunteers in Fuding recently held an event at the Tzu Chi retreat to promote filial piety. On the day, some volunteers also shared their secrets to maintaining a harmonious relationship at home. The scene of a mute father's unconditional love for his daughter and his daughter's repentance have many in the audience moved to tears.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Fuding, China, organized an event to promote filial piety. The simple action of serving tea to their mothers has many inspired within.
Starting from today, I will prepare meals for my mother and wash my own clothes. I will wash my mom's clothes too.
We should visit our parents even when we are working. We should be filial to them and assist them.
On stage with her mother-in-law is Tzu Chi volunteer Fang Meigui, who is repenting for her past.
Before joining Tzu Chi, I was an unfit mother and an unfit daughter-in-law as well.
Ling Haibing is grateful that she has taken the Tzu Chi path, which has improved her relationship with the family.
Master tells us that our parents are living bodhisattvas, so we have to fulfill our filial duties to them.
Amid the joy and delight, as the most senior attendee cuts the cake on behalf of all mothers, the taste of happiness finds its way into every mother's heart.
Also holding events to promote filial piety are Tzu Chi volunteers in northern Taiwan who organized activities for community residents at the Zhonghe and Wugu Tzu Chi recycling stations. Let's take a look.
For the past decade, mothers and grandmothers have shown their concern for the environment at the Tzu Chi recycling point near Jinxing Elementary School. Cho Mei-e sings out the gratitude in her heart, while her daughter takes the opportunity to thank her mother.
Wishing all the mothers in the world a happy Mother's Day. And thank you, Mommy. I love you.
Signing and singing, mothers are moved by the warmth of the extended Tzu Chi family.
Let's show our love for our mothers by taking care of Mother Earth and using our bodies to do good.
Meanwhile, at the Wugu recycling station, a son who works in China has returned especially to see his mother, and a volunteer hugs her 89-year-old grandmother, who in turn reveals the secret of longevity to her fellow volunteers.
No matter what I say, she always laughs. My grandma is really happy. That's how she stays healthy.
Mom, I love you. You're the best.
On stage, there is joy, but also sorrow.
While your mother is still with you, be good to her. I'm filled with regret because I lost my mother when I was 18 years old, and I also lost my only daughter when I was 54. That's why I'm so touched and excited by this event.
Even though many volunteers regret not having elders to look after, they cherish being here to bask in the love of the younger generation.
Of China, there are still houses made out of clear bricks, as local residents are unable to afford proper construction materials. One such place is Guangming village in Sichuan's Zhongjiang County. During the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, 91 houses in the village fell apart, and as a part of Tzu Chi's rebuilding efforts, those houses were reconstructed properly. Here's more.
These are all growing normally. Some have not grown yet. These are all growing well. Around September. I raise chickens and dogs here. The property owner is in the city working, so the land would go to waste if we did not rent it to farm.
In Zhongjiang County, Sichuan Province, Guangming Village experiences the same population drain as other remote areas, from which the younger generation moved to the city to make a living, leaving the old and the young behind. Luo Jingwan is no exception.
We were working in the city trying to save up money to fix up the house before the earthquake happened. After the earthquake, Taiwan's Tzu Chi Foundation arrived to help rebuild our home. It was really not something we thought would happen.
With the house of his dreams, Luo returned to his hometown. In Guangming Village, Residential homes were made out of clay bricks. So when the 2008 Sichuan earthquake shook the area, 91 houses were destroyed. Fortunately, Tzu Chi stepped in to help with rebuilding efforts.
Over here is the master bedroom. Our son's room is up there. Look at how nice our house is. Thanks to Tzu Chi, our house is very modern, and it has even elevated our living conditions. We have running water, electricity, and gas now.
With running water indoors, it's much easier to cook meals and do laundry. We used to have to bring in outside water.
If not for your rebuilding efforts after the earthquake, our village would most likely only look like this in 20 years' time.
Now every rebuilt home has running water and solar power water heaters. Previously, these were amenities that only city dwellers could enjoy. Now the local villagers even take it upon themselves to keep the streets clean.
The main goal is to keep up with street sanitation. It reflects well on our town, and is also good for our health. Before the earthquake, on average, our villagers' income was around $358, and now it's over $1,100. We no longer have to worry about making ends meet.
The elderly residents of Guangming village continue to hope for their children to return home and perhaps develop a village industry for the benefit of themselves and future generations.
For the past couple of days, we have been bringing you stories of the nurses working in the pediatrics ward of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Today, we have more on these nurses' commitment to serve and give selflessly. The nurses say they know every job has its own challenges, but their job brings them jubilation as well as a sense of accomplishment.
很可爱吧？
对啊，
吊带裤呢？耶！
你们要带去哪里啊？
我们要去玉里找家安跟怡安。拜拜。
Just off the night shift at Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, nurse Wang Kaili and Dai Ruinong take off immediately.
This is an opportunity for us to check on them. We didn't get their phone number after our last encounter.
耶，我们
到了。
Bring gifts bought with their own money. The pair use their own time to check on these twin sisters.
知道谁来了吗？你在那边啊。
耶，有没有漂亮？有没有漂亮？有吗？有吗？
The sight of the overjoyed twins makes their former caretakers feel very warm inside.
觉得每个工作都
Every job has its own challenge, but with this job, there is a certain elation after you overcome these challenges, so we continue to give of ourselves selflessly.
When they were younger, the twins got sick often and were frequent visitors to the Tzu Chi Hospital. In 2012, the older of the twins was treated for scalding.
那天是散步，
We were just taking a stroll that day and ran into them. They asked me if they could take her back. I thought they are nurses, so I said okay.
Kylie and Ray Nong took the younger sister back with them and cared for her as though she were their own.
上班也没有多的时间。
While I am on duty, I don't have much time to give each child extra care, so I can only do that when I get off work. I am happy to be of service.
安谷里面有叶，安谷。
My team of nurses stands out. When they finish their rounds in the ward, they remember the needs of their patients. When they get off work, they will use their own time to try to help out. I think that's really something.
The nurses of the pediatrics ward are now going the extra mile for their patients only.
去幼稚园跟小朋友作伴。我刚刚下大夜。
I am now going to a daycare center to keep some children company. I just got off the night shift, but I still want to participate because I like children and want to play with them.
Today they are visiting under kindergarten to teach the students how to care for themselves through songs and games. Most of the students here come from disadvantaged families. Under the leadership of head nurse Chen Yajun, the nurses dropping on the children once a month.
It's important to lead by setting an example. You must first be willing to embrace change. As you do, you should also empower others to give it a try and get everyone involved.
The planners of today's event are two young nurses who have not even served a year yet.
吃完记得要刷牙，正确刷牙要做好，口齿清香好人缘，口臭肚虫全不见。然后手牙，在手后面记得。很好，你好强哦！赞啊！
你为什么想要改唱兵歌啊？
可以，就是让小
I hope to help children memorize the things we teach them through singing.
Yao Qiaoxin, who just finished her shift, works on making props instead of going home.
不会期待这个。
I am looking forward to this event. I want to make something that will grab the kids' attention.
There is quite a lot of difference between being ordered to participate in an activity and joining the event willingly. In the latter case, you will enjoy doing it and also find a sense of accomplishment.
In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Tzu Chi care recipient Hualien has been living in the cemetery ground since her husband's passing, but as the cemetery premises have been damaged, the senior had no choice but to relocate elsewhere. With the help of Tzu Chi volunteers, the elderly woman was moved to a nearby nursing home.
Solitary senior Hualien is leaving her home in the cemetery and moving into the nursing home, and her long-term care provider Tzu Chi is helping her move.
There is no drinking water here, so she carries 2 big bottles of mineral water up and down frequently. When I saw this, I brought her a trolley to use instead.
Ajin always fetches me to go do recycling with him.
We began our care for Grandma Lian Yin when her husband passed away. We have been with her along the way, and where we see she is lacking, we will help her.
With the drainage system clogged up by mud and the house surrounded by water, not only does she live alone, but this is no longer a place she can call home.
The drainage system is clogged and water cannot flow through, so all the water floods into Grandma's house. She has polio and often has pain in her legs due to the humidity.
Despite the days of hardship, since Grandma Lian encountered Tzu Chi, she often wears a smile on her face and enjoys practicing recycling with the volunteers. She also loves to sing a tune or two for the volunteers.
一起来，一起来，来环保，来环保。一个人环保不快乐，一群人环保多快乐。Yes。比較開心啲咯。
I'm happier now. I always ask Ajin to take me to do recycling. When the one sister is there, we always sing songs together. 相依相惜，彼此都感恩。
Although Grandma Lian is vacating her home, Tzu Chi volunteers' care will never falter.
Staying in Malaysia as the Buddha Day ceremony in Selangor drew to a successful conclusion, many moving stories were unveiled of how care recipients and members of the public were inspired to pay the love forward. Let's take a look. Upon receiving the green shirts from volunteers, Ragu puts it on right away. This year, his family will take part in the Bodhi leaf formation for the Buddha Day ceremony.
Thank you. So on the day must wear.
Ragu, the neighbor of a deceased care recipient, is deeply moved by Tzu Chi's unconditional love and care for the needy.
I saw Kuma's case and how volunteers helped his family a lot. They came over all the time and visited him often at the hospital with food and aid. Whenever he was feeling sick, they came to care for him. Volunteers are really determined to help the poor and sick.
We have been caring for this community for 7 years. This year, we are inviting them to take part, which is a great way to join Tzu Chi. Another Burmese refugee who is grateful to Tzu Chi for reaching out a helping hand in his time of need is joining the Buddha Day ceremony with his family and hopes to pay the love forward.
Uang RM1 mau beli makan 90 sen. 10 sen mau terus ini. Mau tolong orang miskinnya.
When we went to his house, we were very shocked because they lived in an area of illegal wooden houses and had been out of food for a while. He also had a heart condition, so his family was in need of help. We arranged for him to receive surgery, and it went smoothly. So he is really grateful to Tzu Chi.
Besides praying for peace and harmony, many participants in the ceremony hope to spread Tzu Chi's great love further and reach all dark corners of society. In our final report of the day, we meet a third grader at Taichung's Qinghai Junior High School, Chen Ruigang, who is a filial child at home, a bright student at school, as well as a volunteer at the local recycling station. What's worth mentioning is that Chen is also an awardee of this year's President Educational Award. The first thing Chen Ruigang, a third-year student at Qinghai Junior High School, does when he gets home is to assist his dad in rehab. Next, he begins a series of household chores, including cooking dinner. Only when these chores are done does he start on his homework.
When our parents are in need of help, we should reach out to assist them. They have helped and guided us since we were young, so I'm just repaying their love. I think taking care of my parents is more important than achieving good results.
In addition to fulfilling his filial duties, Chen is also a hardworking student who came first in his school and was accepted by the National Taichung Senior High School. Nevertheless, to lessen the burden for his mother, he chooses to study in a private school where he will receive scholarship support.
Ruigang is great. He is motivated to do well in his studies. He helps with household chores too. I'm comforted by his behavior.
Even the teachers at school are impressed by Chen's behavior.
Ruigang always helps others, and when his classmates don't understand something, he will help them too. He asks nothing in return. He is also not taken back by his background. So I use 2 words to describe Ruigang: bright and compassionate.
On top of all the responsibilities Chen shoulders, he still finds time to volunteer at the local recycling station, setting an example for those around him. We stay in Taiwan at the end of today's program. Tzu Chi volunteers in Taipei's Zhongshan district regularly visit a local nursing home each month to care for the senior residents there. At the most recent visit, volunteers organized a Buddha Day ceremony for the residents. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.